Okay, here on the Anti-Self-Help channel, we are all about optimizing ourselves. And I think one of the best ways to optimize yourself is to take a look at your habits. So I think a great way to get some inspiration for what habits could work for us is to look at the habits of the most successful people and see what worked for them. With that said, some things don't work for everyone. So today I'm gonna go through some kinda, sorta, pretty weird habits that a handful of super successful and rich people use. But before I dig in and expose some of these weird habits to my 50 viewers, let me get you to dig into that like button. Oh, you dug? Very good. Let the video go on then. Okay, the article we're gonna be using for reference is an article from Inc.com, and it's called The 7 Weirdest Habits of the Rich and Super Successful. Number 1, Steve Jobs' carrot-only weeks. Steve Jobs went weeks only eating carrots, reportedly turning slightly orange, all because he heard they were healthy. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say about that. I think it's a little weird. Now, with that said, I am feeling a bit hungry, and it's been a good while since I've munched on a carrot. So I feel like I'm feeling a bit inspired here by Steve, and we're actually gonna head out and grab some carrots. Not a great time to get carrots. Oh well. Oh yeah, baby. We got the big boys. Stop watching me peel carrots. Smash the like button for the carrots, baby. Carrots don't get enough love. Okay, we have Steve's snack of choice. So let's get on to the rest of the video. Number 2, Ben Franklin's air baths. In a letter dated 1768, Franklin recommended daily air baths, aka sitting without clothes in front of an open window for 30 minutes to an hour each morning, depending on the weather. I have a lot of questions right off the bat. Like, what floor was this window on that he would air bathe in front of? Because that could be potentially hazardous. It's like Ben Franklin's neighbors would go on walks and they would be like,
let's make sure we take the long way home, laddie. We don't want to get flashed at Franklin's.
Imagine if people had smartphones back then. Like if people had cell phones and they're just going on a walk and they're like live streaming, whatever, like Facebook Live. Hey guys, just on my daily walk. And then Ben Franklin is just in the back, getting a good air bath. Okay, number 3, Beethoven's coffee counting. Child prodigy and classical composer Beethoven hand counted 60 individual beans for his coffee each morning. Hold up, let me test mine and see if I can tell how many. That is about 1 K-cup's worth. I can tell you that. Okay, Beethoven, I respect the dedication. I really do. It's something. But like, I wonder if he could actually tell the difference. You know, like one morning he was in a rush and he had to quickly, like, you know, guesstimate his beans, toss them in his coffee, grind them up, whatever. And then he's out on the road, right? He's riding down the stone roads on his horse carriage and he just takes a sip of his coffee. And he goes,
What a shame. That's only 59 beans.
Okay, and no hate, I'm a big coffee person, but that is next level. But who am I to judge? Maybe that's what it takes to be world class at something. You gotta count your 60 coffee beans. I mean, who knows? Maybe if I started counting my coffee beans, people would actually start subscribing to this channel. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? The subscribe button's right down there. You can just, you know, hit it. Number 4, Shigeru Miyamoto's obsessive measuring. Shigeru Miyamoto, a legendary video game designer at Nintendo, habitually measures everything he sees. He even carries around a tape measure, guessing and checking the lengths of everyday objects. Actually, okay, having a tape measure around actually can be handy. So here's a terrible story. I had always told my girlfriend that I was 5'11", you know, almost 6 foot, because that's genuinely how tall I thought I was. And then one day we were hanging out and there was a tape measure at my place and she saw it and she was like,
look what I found.
And I was like,
oh no.
Well, anyway, she measured my height and it was 5'10". And that, my friend, is when I realized I shouldn't have asked my barber to take 2 inches off the top. Okay. Come on, that was good. Number 5, Nikola Tesla's odd sleep habits. He slept in 6 20-minute intervals to gain more hours of productivity each day. Okay, so for those of you who have not heard of this, it actually has a name. And no, I'm not just speaking of sleep deprivation, but yeah, it's actually called a polyphasic sleep cycle. And this specific sleep cycle that Nikola Tesla used is called the Uberman schedule. It's essentially a variation of polyphasic sleep cycles, but for this one, you take 20-minute naps every 4 hours, which gives you a grand total of 3 hours of sleep a day, baby. Oh, that was a lot. That was a lot of carrot. This is taking a long time to chew. So with a sleep schedule like this, you get way less than the recommended 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep every night. And while there may be some short-term productivity benefits to sleeping that little, in the long run, it's not a good idea. Especially because recently there have been a handful of medical studies that have found that not getting enough sleep every night can put you at a much higher risk of developing dementia. So pretty much the time you would save with a polyphasic sleep cycle when you're young would pretty much just be taken from you when you're older. Yeah, so I can't say I recommend this habit from Nikola Tesla. Actually, almost every habit from this list I would say I don't recommend, except for Ben Franklin's. You know, he had some good ones. Jokes. Too much carrot again. If you could see the amount of time that it's taking for me to film this video just because I have to wait until I'm done chewing before I can read the next section. Number 6, Elon Musk's 5-minute schedule. Elon Musk is also famed for his periods of sleep deprivation, but his most extreme habit, instead, it's his relentless and insanely detailed schedule in which he blocks out his days in 5-minute intervals. Okay, this is actually something we've talked about on this channel before. It is called time blocking. But this is definitely a very extreme version of that. So time blocking is something I do, but not anywhere close to this extreme, where Elon Musk does it to every 5 minutes. I do it personally to every hour. So I block out each hour of my day using an Excel template that I made for myself. For my brain, it really helps for me to just be able to look at my week in one glance and see where all of my time is going. Mentally, I think it really helps me stay more organized. So if you want to try out time blocking, feel free to download my time blocking Excel template. It's available on my Patreon, and the link is in the description. Okay, number 7, Tony Robbins's ice baths. Every morning, he spends a few minutes in an extra hot sauna before plunging into ice cold water. Okay, this is also something I've done before. So when I worked in the restaurant business, there were days where I had to literally stand for 14 hours. And that like really hurts your feet. So whenever I had shifts like that, I would go back home and then literally just fill up my bathtub with ice and freezing water and soak my feet in there for about 20 minutes. It is insanely painful, but your feet feel really good after, so it's kind of worth it.
Really not too sure why my hair just started sticking up like an antenna right at the end of the video. Anyway, you're welcome, I guess.
All right, upon reviewing a handful of habits from super successful and rich people, I think it's safe to say that not everything works for everyone. Habits 100% make or break who you are and the things that you will achieve, but what works for one person may not work for the next. So if someone ever tells you that what they're doing is the best habit ever and that you need to try it, it could be, but take it with a grain of salt. And keep in mind that you're not them, and maybe sitting in front of your window without clothes on for 30 minutes to an hour won't help you too much. Okay, comment below which of these habits you thought was the strangest. Do you personally have any habits that are weird that you care to share with the family? If so, please comment them below as well. In a previous video of mine, I shared that one of my weird productivity habits was to like wear a super baggy hoodie, wear baggy sweatpants, pretty much just comfy clothes, and it just gets my mind in the zone to work. I'll link that video up here. But like I said, not everything works for everybody. Anyway guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. Leave a comment for the algorithm as always, and I'll see you guys next time.